Hello everyone and welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is Thursday, August 21, 2025 and I'm Abdul Majid Awan.
And I'm Warid Ahmed and we've got a packed show for you today. So first up, the Y Combinator co-founder Paul Graham has weighed in on Gaza, and secondly, the Saudi vacation rental platform Gathern has raised $72 million and is also eyeing an IPO. PIF-Backed Humain is seeking a data center chief to further drive its Saudi AI ambitions. And finally, it's been found that Saudis and Emiratis use ChatGPT more than the global average.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But first of all, Y Combinator co-founder Paul Graham, also known for Hacker News, posted on X, a Palestinian child's life is worth as much as an Israeli child's life. Amid the Gaza genocide that's happening right now, the remark quickly drew global attention, sparking debate over the role of tech leaders in addressing humanitarian crises.
I think that it's really important to bring up how, tech figures often avoid commenting on the genocides in Gaza. UN monitors have warned of man-made famine risks and widespread destruction, while the ICG has ordered Israel to prevent acts of genocide and ensure aid access. Now, Graham's statement highlights the ethical visibility gap among influential investors.
And more importantly, diplomatic momentum is shifting internationally. As we've seen, France, Australia, potentially New Zealand plan to recognize Palestine at the UN in September 2025. These steps may heighten pressure to pursue a political track alongside ongoing humanitarian relief efforts in Gaza.
So YC has been expanding its footprint in the Middle East and North Africa. The accelerator has funded 72 startups in the region, including Baraka, Irad from Saudi, Zena from the UAE, and Thinder, based in Egypt, now all of which have scaled significantly post YC funding support.
And the MENA focus reflects YC's strategic bet on fintech, consumer platforms, and investment solutions emerging in the region. To be honest, Graham's Gaza comment just juxtaposes the accelerator's global business reach with its ethical responsibilities, drawing attention to how tech leaders navigate humanitarian crisis. Reminds me of the Sequoia story. Yeah.
You know what?
It reminds you of that.
It does not really remind me of the Sequoia story, actually, because if you go on Paul Graham's X account,
he's same.
No, they are not the same people. Like, for example, he posted this.
It reminds you of the story in the sense that what they're doing and what one of their partners is doing and what Y Combinator's co-founder is coming out and saying the truth.
But he's been saying it for a while. Like,
nice.
I was looking through his X account and I was completely surprised. He basically posted this quote and he said that there was no anesthesia, no stitches. We put something in the children's mouth and I held them down while he removed the sharp item with the kitchen knife. You cannot imagine how the children were screaming. Even then, he actually, he also reposted something that basically had to do with how just very recently the Israeli army was trying to relocate Palestinians. And there was this lady who basically said on X, looks like everyone got their instructions on what to say. And she basically screenshotted a bunch of headlines from different news outlets, Reuters, AP News, and he reposted that. He reposted that. So I was completely shocked of how supportive he is and how much he's standing with the Palestinian people. Yeah. Like I feel like when I read his comment of a Palestinian child's life is worth as much an Israeli child's life, I feel like immediately we think of the Black Lives Movement because, right before the BDS movement became really big and people were boycotting products, companies that are basically complicit in the genocide in Palestine, it was a Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah,
and during that time, this is something that people would bring up that made a lot of people angry, and it was white lives matter as much as black lives. I feel like you can read what Graham said and just immediately get angry. But if you actually take a look at it, what did he say? A Palestinian child's life matters as much as an Israeli child. And I think what this does signify a lot, especially from a founder like him. And he's a pretty interesting individual, you know, a
Yeah.
jack of all trades, I would say, and a master of all in this case, you know, a writer, and with a company that's so successful. By the way, they also funded Breadfast.
Oh, they've funded Breadfast?
They've funded
Nice.
Breadfast. Recently, we had a discussion about how Breadfast, you know, it's the leading grocery delivery in Egypt, and how they've raised money and they're doing great. And the fact that this company is a part of it, I think that this does give me hope in a way, Majid, because we don't see this often. We really don't see this often, where a man with this much VC power is actually against what is going on in the region.
Yeah, and it makes sense because, again, some people have changed their tone now. Some people were in the start with Israel, no, this, oh no, that. But now they've realized that whatever they were being fed by the Western media or by whatever media is being controlled by them, they've realized that all of it was wrong, to be honest. The picture that they were seeing was not the actual picture which was happening, and thanks to all the people who've been doing that. The guy Anas from Al Jazeera, who was recently killed by an Israeli bombing on a journalist, and knowing it's a journalistic tent, they're safeguarded from all the bombing, targeted killing. Motaz, we have one of the biggest examples. The name of the lady with P, the book that I read.
Plastia Al-Aqad.
Plastia Al-Aqad. Those people, everyone who was there, who documented every little thing, thanks to them, that the world now knows that whatever was shown to them in the start after October 7, 2023 was wrong. It was a different picture that was shown to all the people in the West, to be honest. And it's good. They're coming back. They're coming clean. I have more respect for people who've been saying it from the start, that they didn't start on October 7, 2023. It's been going on for a lot of decades now, not even years. So I have more respect for them. But even people who are changing their position now.
But did Paul change his mind, though? Because from what I'm seeing on his X account, you know, he has a lot of followers who did not particularly like the fact that he is supportive of Palestinians.
Yeah,
so I'm
obviously.
not
You
not
still get
sure.
backlash, to be
I'm not
honest.
sure here if he changed his mind or what was going on there. I think we have to dig back and take a look
Yeah,
at
we'll
that.
look at the X profile. Obviously, you can go and look back. But the main point is, right now, even if you add one more voice to the Palestinian cause, whoever it is, small, big, medium, doesn't matter, any voice that is added actually helps the Palestinian cause. We have reports that there is a 60-day ceasefire agreement on the table. Hamas is looking at it. There is a chance that it will happen. Obviously, we've seen those two ceasefires already now. One was 1 month and one was, I think, 45 days. Both of them were violated by Israel because they can't sit down. I don't know what's their problem, but they just came back and were like, oh, no, something happened to us, so now we're restarting it. Both of them were violated by Israel, and that's documented, not me saying, not anyone. Their reasoning was, Hamas fired a rocket, we'll throw bombs on them. So it's weird, but yeah. Main idea is that Y Combinator, one of the reasons that we covered this story is Y Combinator is a big player in this region. A lot of people, if you go to the LinkedIn, the big, all the people who are in the entrepreneurial circle, basically, if someone is coming up with a starter, I think Y Combinator is one of the places which they look at, because these guys, they just go crazy with funding. On their website, there's 72 startups which are on this list from MENA only. So imagine 72 from MENA, because I read through the list and half of them I didn't even know, and that's our job. Like, we every day look at startups and their fundings. Half of them even I didn't know existed. So some are small, some are big, some are very niche market startups. But then you go global and they have 2,000 plus startups that they funded.
I think what's so ironic about the entire thing is if you read into Paul Graham and the kind of stuff that he says, I don't even think that he's the kind of person that would take VC funding, by the way. Even though he gives a lot of it away, he does not actually encourage that as a company you take a lot of funding.
Yeah.
He believes in small teams. He believes in not having that many employees in a company. And honestly, I could not agree more. I truly could not agree more. It does lessen the costs, it lessens the expenses, and not just that. If you have somebody who you hire and you actually make them feel useful, because if you make people feel useful, you make people feel valuable. In fact, I do think that they will stay there in the long term.
Yeah.
But
You
it's
have
just,
to.
I think he's a really ironic person. But let's move on to something that's really exciting that's going on right now. So the Saudi vacation rental platform Gathern has raised $72 million in a Series B round led by Sanabil Investments, a wholly owned subsidiary of the Public Investment Fund, with participation from STV, Pinnacle Capital, Nua Capital, and Endeavor Catalyst. Now, the round values Gathern at over $250 million.
And the funding makes Gathern the highest valued venture-backed startup in the Middle East, founded and led by a woman. The company plans to prepare for a Tadawul IPO, though no specific timeline has been disclosed.
Now, founded in 2016 by Latifa Al Tamimi as a chalet booking platform, Gather now offers short-term and monthly rentals nationwide. It claims over 72,000 private hospitality units, representing roughly 15% of Saudi Arabia's total hotel and non-hotel supply.
And Gathern reports a 44% market share in the kingdom's alternative hospitality sector, rising to 53% in Riyadh. The platform has more than 5 million users from 150 nationalities, and total payouts to hosts exceed $533 million, benefiting over 33,000 Saudi hosts.
And so this fresh capital will fuel local and regional expansion, attract inbound travelers, and enhance long-term stay offerings. Now, with this story, it reminds me of just a while ago, we covered the story of how nearly more than half of the hospitality businesses in Saudi Arabia are owned and led by women.
Yeah.
And it like immediately comes to mind. And in this case, we're seeing how Latifa is shining. Her company is doing great.
Yeah.
And it's backed by PIF. So you got the government backing you. They believe in what you're doing. So that means Crown Prince Salman believes in what you're doing. And then you also have Pinnacle Capital, who is backing her. Now, who is Pinnacle Capital? So they're this venture fund. They're based in Saudi, but what's actually interesting about them is I believe one of the founders or board members is Muayyad Al-Muayyad. So Muayyad Al-Muayyad is a co-founder of Callow. He is the investor that is really responsible, I would say, for how far Callow has come and how successful they've done. Just very recently, we saw how they expanded into the UK market, and they've acquired two of the most famous food tech platforms there. So Muayyad Al-Muayyad investing in her business, I think that's a really good sign.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, especially with these businessmen, they have a reputation. If you're going around making everyone go bankrupt, no no one is going to trust you. Nobody wants to be near you. But with someone like Muayyad Al-Muayyad, we've seen how much of a great team he made with Ahmed Al-Rawi, how they grew Callow. I cannot wait to see how far Gathern goes. I really cannot.
Yeah, it's a nice idea. The idea is great. Our owner Rich was talking about it on the group, one of the groups, and he was like, it's very interesting to see that how Airbnb and all these players are there, but they're still doing good. So it's a good local startup becoming bigger in the local market, taking the big market share and beating the big giants. That's the good story to always have, because local startups are the blood of this economy that we've seen. Again, we always talk about it, but all the local startups that we have, the big names, Tabi, Tamara, those are the first ones that pop into your mind. But apart from that, everyone who has started something local and then took the local ideas and implemented them. Maybe the ideas can be borrowed from the West or some places, maybe Asia. But again, the local touch is only and can only be given by a local person to start it.
No, and so, I think it's also like it's such a culture thing, I think, too. That I know it's a rental platform, but if you know Arabs and you've gone into Arabs' homes, I always say this and I will say it again. nobody does hospitality better than Arab people.
Yeah.
You know, I am an Arab. I see how I grew up in my home, and I see how my Saudi, Syrian, Lebanese, Emirati friends are, and you go in, and the first thing that you smell, it's bakhur.
Yeah.
Immediately, you know, you get bakhur, and you get welcomed really well. They just know how to do hospitality right. So, and I also think, like, you know, you brought up Airbnb. I think the reason why these Western giants, they're just not winning here is because, like, when you grow up and you hear those names, you immediately associate them with where they're from. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly couldn't have even thought that Airbnb was here. I was not paying attention to it.
Yeah.
I was just not, because it does not come from home. It does not come from the region that I'm in. So I understand why people are more trusting of platforms like Gathern, more trusting of platforms like Callo. By the way, recently, Callo's ads have been popping up on my TikTok.
You're doing so much about them.
I think maybe because, I don't know, like, my computer keeps hearing that I'm talking about them and I'm writing about them, but they're popping up on my TikTok, by the way, and their advertisements are so interesting. So, you know, if you know Callo, you know that it's basically a meal plan platform. You can subscribe, you can choose whatever kind of meal plan that you want, the amount of calories, the amount of food. But this platform, their advertisements, the way that they advertise, I think, is really interesting, because it's almost like they're trying to, they're not targeting you through billboards and, the typical kind of advertisements that used to go out. They're doing it through influencers. They're doing it through a practiced lifestyle. The ads that I was seeing are people in the gym. Like, I saw it, and I obviously saw the logo, and I'm like, okay, this is a Callo ad, but the food does not pop up immediately. What pops up is somebody running in the gym, somebody carrying a bunch of dumbbells. So I think that the way that they're trying to put their brand out there, it's almost a lifestyle. And I think that if Gathern can give people that lifestyle, that you can come and you can rent something that is, I don't know what they're going for, but if they can give people a practice lifestyle, I think that that's a really smart advertising method.
I was just looking at their website. They're offering homes basically on monthly rent basis, per day basis. That's nice. Again, it's kind of like a Airbnb format that they're using. So you just book a house online.
What kind of homes are they, Majid?
One bedroom. It goes up to villas. So I was just looking at it. I was looking for studios.
So they're accommodating for all classes.
Yeah. So if you have a holiday home, if you build a house and you want to put it up for rentals, holiday homes are a very cool new thing right now. Everyone is moving towards turning their properties into holiday homes rather than long-term yearly rentals, because the yield is better, because the rent is better. And obviously you can change the rent as per season. So in summers you can bring it down so you attract more people, but in winters, in the holiday season, or in the tourist season, you can increase it. So holiday homes are the new coolness, to be honest, in the rental market.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just saw they're also offering places in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Ajman. So all of the Saudi cities, obviously, because they're Saudi, but they're offering homes in Saudi, Dubai, etc. The lowest one I saw was 12,000 for 1 month. So yeah, it's a good holiday home. Again, in Airbnb, self check-in, you go in, you'll get all the things already. You'll have a list. This is available. It's like a house that you live in, but you pay 1 month rent. So it's a nice setup. It's a nice startup. The website was pretty easy to look at. Very user-friendly interface. So let's see.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about easiness.
Yeah.
You should be able
I think
to access
it's
something.
maximum 3 to 4 clicks, and you'll book a house and just go and live for a month. So yeah, again, accessibility is easier. But yes, moving on to more accessibility, more bigger things. Humain, Saudi Arabia's national AI company backed by the Public Investment Fund, is hiring a head of data center estates. It's a very important position. We'll tell you about it, but the Riyadh-based role will oversee land acquisition, power strategy, how you'll power the whole data center, how you'll run the operations, and long-term capacity planning for the kingdom's hyperscale AI campuses.
So the position includes integrating utility-scale energy, including renewables, and coordinating with global hyperscalers, regulators, and hardware vendors. Now, Humain aims to deploy 6.6 gigawatts of compute capacity by 2034, with an initial $77 billion first phase targeting 1.9 gigawatts by 2030.
And the announcement follows Humain's $23 billion in strategic U.S. partnerships during President Trump's May visit, including approval to buy 18,000 NVIDIA GB300 Grace Blackwell chips. The Gulf still awaits clarity on licensing rules for chip imports.
So, chaired by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Humain targets processing 7% of global AI workloads by 2030. It has also launched a $10 billion venture capital fund to strengthen Saudi Arabia's global AI position under Vision 2030.
And analysts warn domestic demand may lag the massive infrastructure push, suggesting some compute will need exporting. Low electricity costs make Saudi Arabia competitive in AI, but concerns remain over fiscal deficits and the sustainability of giga projects. The main idea is that we saw recently that Tesla, Elon Musk, is planning that his XAI startup, which now has eaten X also, so it's now XAI. X no longer exists; it exists under XAI now. Very interesting thing to do. But the computing power that he needs, he's looking for places to rent out, and Saudi Arabia was one of the markets that he was looking at. So building a data center under the banner of Humain, I think they won't have to use all of the places for themselves because they're not working on AI as much as the Western world is. But they can always rent it out, the computing power that they build.
But I think, with them hiring a new chief of data centers, it's like, great and amazing. But I don't think anyone can ever overshadow or overcome what Tariq Amin has become to Saudi Arabia. So, who is this man? Tariq Amin, he is the CEO that has been chosen to lead Humain, to lead Saudi Arabia's artificial intelligence future. And he's such an interesting personality because of the fact that, you have this person who was born in Jordan, he was raised in America, and then he just leads such an interesting career. He goes to India and he lives there, I believe, for like over 3 years. Then he goes to Rakuten Symphony and he works there, and he has great career progression, and he lives in Japan for 6 years, and then suddenly he's in Saudi Arabia and he's leading Aramco Digital, and then now you have him in Humain. And he is the man who has been able to get a meeting with Crown Prince Salman. He revealed this in this LinkedIn article, but I don't think anyone can ever overcome how important he is to the company. I don't think that he's just a face. I think that this thing often happens with companies where you have someone who is in such a high position role, but they're just a face. They're not actually doing anything. But somebody like Tariq Amin, with the kind of expertise that he comes with, it's crazy. He got NVIDIA to agree to give them 18,000 of their newest NVIDIA chips. Like, that is a huge feat. If you know NVIDIA chips, then you know that it has not been that easy for the Middle East to get access to them.
Even the world is fighting over the NVIDIA chips. Everyone wants them.
Exactly. So I think that, Tariq Amin, he might just be what Saudi Arabia needs to get a push in this artificial intelligence Cold War.
Yes.
This is exactly the kind of man that they need, and I think that he's already doing a great job. And you know what I also think it is, Majid? I think with Tariq Amin, it's the fact that he's not just an Arab, is he? He's an American. He's an American.
He has the best of both.
He sounds like an American. He speaks like Americans. And if you speak like Americans, they trust you. They want to help you. And we even did an exclusive interview with him. He's a pretty nice guy. And he told us how AMD and NVIDIA, in fact, they're relocating teams to Saudi Arabia to train Saudis, to train their employees there. It's not just that they've signed deals that are worth billions of dollars. It's that they're bringing their teams, they're bringing their staff, their experts to Saudi. Like the grand scale of this project that was just launched in May? And look how far they're coming. We already have a $10 billion VC fund. It's just, I still can't believe it's real. Honestly, it is not human. It is not human. I know it's humane, but it's not human. They're doing great. But just to end the show with the final topic of the day, I don't know if I expected this one, but ChatGPT remains the Middle East's leading AI chatbot with market shares of 91% in Saudi Arabia and Egypt and 89% in the UAE. Now, this far exceeds its global 82% share, underscoring OpenAI's dominance in the region.
And Microsoft's Copilot captures around 5% market share, leveraging OpenAI engines for workplace AI tools. Partnerships with governments and firms like the UAE's Target project with G42 have strengthened ChatGPT's regional foothold.
So OpenAI launched GPT-5 in August, though early reviews noted minimal improvements over its past version. Now, despite this, usage in the Middle East remains robust, reflecting its strong adoption among businesses and individuals alike.
And regional AI models are emerging. The UAE's Falcon from Abu Dhabi's Technology Innovation Institute is open source. Saudi Arabia's Humain is developing a chatbot, which we are expecting by the end of this month. And it also emphasizes Arabic fluency, cultural alignment, and local accessibility.
So experts say scale, iteration, speed, and brand recognition give ChatGPT an edge. And yet, as local AI models advance, culturally tuned alternatives could challenge OpenAI's dominance in the Middle East over time. I think that this is so interesting.
It's not even a surprise to me.
You know why it's like interesting to me? Because it's like, you know, you always have the West that is like the Middle East so behind. You know, they're greenwashing, they're sports washing, they're washing, like just so many forms of washing, and it's like they make it seem like they're behind in some kind of way, or even if they're not behind, they try to paint it that way. So the fact that you have a community, a group of people that have caught up to something this quickly, I mean, that is a sign of a great future of what is to come. That is telling me that other countries in the world are not catching up soon enough. They really are not.
The usage, I think, we were one of the first adopters because we have such a big events industry. We have such a big content industry. When you say content, a lot of people just say, oh, writing and maybe making videos or graphics.
Yeah.
Content is such a big industry. You can include internal communication, external communication. You can include 100 million things under the term content itself. And ChatGPT, even the earliest weird versions, which came, the earliest version, if you use it now, you'll be like, what was I using? And even you liked that version, right? The first ChatGPT, November 2023 launched, and you were like, oh, something interesting. But now you look at ChatGPT 5, a lot of people are having complaints about it, that it's lost that lovey-dovey, understanding, friendly touch. It's become more professional, and if you ask it something, it doesn't start with, oh, yes, I will help you with that for sure, and then go on and help you. It's become more robotic. A lot of people are complaining about that, but ChatGPT 5 is now more advanced than ChatGPT 4. Oh, that was the last version. Again, I have this habit of testing it on one single prompt. I won't tell you the prompt, it's very weird prompt, but I just check it because every time I see a different result out of that prompt. So I realize, I just check whenever a new version is out. ChatGPT 5 is more powerful, obviously, has better search. I've realized it doesn't just give you anything from anywhere which it sees on the internet. It actually now understands that there are better sources and there are weak sources. So whenever you ask it something, it will give it to you. It'll be like, no, these are the good ones, the big names, the verified places, and then these are some of the other sources. So yeah, I don't know when 5.0 will come or when 6 will come. It will happen. The main idea for all these chatbots, all of them, X, Perplexity, Claude, whatever name you take right now, Lisha, the French one, by Mistral AI, where recently MGX is also thinking of investing, and all, name anything. All of them have one single goal, which I always say, to achieve average general intelligence, to become as normal as a human being's brain. They are trying to do that. Sam Altman thinks he can do it before Elon Musk's X. Both of them have their problems. Meta AI recently got so many cases on them because they were doing weird things to kids. They were telling kids information which they shouldn't have. That is also something going on. The world of AI is full of news right now, to be honest. You can't keep up with it. It's so much.
You know, speaking of Paul Graham, he tweeted, he was like, not every company that's formed nowadays has to be about AI. And I could not agree more. Like, I feel like people are just hyper fixating on it, which is great, don't get me wrong, but there are so many more industries to come.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but AI is not replacing doctors. It
Yeah,
simply is not.
It
That
is
is not
actually.
happening.
There's robots now which are using AI to do surgeries
But
alone.
it's not, though.
It
That's
will not
completely
right
impossible.
now. See, some hardcore skills, again, physicians, doctors, which need a human touch, they are irreplaceable right now. But no, October 2023, I didn't think that if I tell some program online to write, just give it like a one sentence and it can churn out a 500-word piece on it. I didn't think it was possible. It's been 2 years now,
Yeah.
2025. November, it'll be 2 years. Imagine in 1.5 year from ChatGPT, the original version, to ChatGPT 5. And in between, it wasn't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was 3, 3.0, 3 this, 3.0 mini, 4, 4.0, 4 mini, and then 5 now.
Yeah.
So imagine the advancement that we've seen within 1.5 year. So if that can happen in 1.5 year, you don't know what the next decade is going to look like. It's
That's
going to
true.
be astronomically different than how you see the world right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, just keep up with it. Try to keep up with it, and that's the best way to do it is follow Smashi Business.
Yeah, and keep up with Smashy Business. That's a wrap for today, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Smashy Business Show. Make sure to follow us across all of our social media channels at Smashy Business and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find the subscription link in the description.
This has been the Smashi Business Show, a Smashi Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. A big shout out to our 2.5 million monthly listeners across all platforms who make this possible. Also, we're celebrating Lovin' 10 years of Lovin', the brand itself, and Lovin' Dubai also, and the company to an extent also. So yeah, go. We have a community awards. We have 10 categories. One of those categories is the Business Visionary Award. You can go and select your favorite business visionary from this year, the first half, and to be honest, 2024 second half also. Just vote for them. There's very interesting categories otherwise as well. They're community awards, so they're for the community. So yeah, go vote for them and enjoy the show. I'll tell my producer today to add the Love and 10 link in the subscription, in the description of this show, so it's easier for you to just click on it and go and do it. Thank you very much. Have a great day. We'll see you on Friday, the last day of the weekend, so then we can have a good weekend. Bye-bye.